If there's two things that I don't miss about old PC games, it's firstly, having to futz around with autoexec.bas and config.sys and himem.sys, although DOSBox and ScumVM and other emulators have taken the hassle out of most of that. The second is the copy protection. I mean, this is just... it's just annoying. It's a relic from the past which serves no use anymore. It really doesn't. Anyway, do you have tips for new adventure players, Chas? I'm not sure what I should do to be observant on every single screen of the game. Maybe I should just look. Ah, excellent. Is this my first time playing King's Quest IV? Technically, no. But it's been a while. I said it at the beginning, this is the one that I'm most looking forward to replaying. I hope it's as good as I remember it being. It looks like the bottom of the screen is being cut off there, but it's totally not. I made some progress in this game. Specifically, I did one of the two major quests, but after that I got stuck, and I do recall looking at a walkthrough, but I cannot tell you whether or not I've actually completed this game. Either way, I think revisiting this after having completed the first 3 games is going to be an absolute blast. With the return of his long-lost son, Alexander, and the rescue of his daughter, Rosella, from the terrible dragon, old King Graham decides it's time to pass on his adventurer's hat to younger blood. He flings the battered hat towards his children, while his wife, Queen Valenice, proudly looks on. This is literally at the end of King's Quest III. The hat arches through the air. Suddenly, King Graham experiences a terrible squeezing pain in his chest. What's the medical term for that? "Help me!" he rasps. The adventurer's hat lies, unclaimed, upon the floor, forgotten. Alexander looks like he has a mustache. And yeah, he's wearing the same clothing that he was in King's Quest III. King Graham lies weakly in bed, Father Death hovering near. Grief suddenly overwhelming her, Rosella runs from the room. "Oh, Father," she sobs, "you're still young. You should have many years ahead of you. Oh, I wish I could help you, Father." "Do you really mean that?" a soft voice asks. Rosella looks up, but sees no one. "Who's speaking to me?" I've had to record some of this in post. "I am," the voice says. "Look in the magic mirror." Rosella sees an image in the mirror. Who are you?" she queries. It looks like a fairy of some sort. "I am the fairy, Genesta. In my land of Tamir, there is a remarkable tree. This tiny tree needs 100 years to bear a single fruit. But this is no ordinary fruit, for if a person were to eat it, they would find that good health and well-being would be theirs for many years." Is this a scam? Rosella is much heartened by this news. Where is the land of Tamir? Genesta smiles. "Tamir is very far away, but with my magic, I can bring you here." She kind of looks like a carbon copy of Rosella, kind of. Rosella senses that there is more to the story. But I suppose there are some problems? Also, I don't sound like I'm suffering from grief, but whatever. Again, Genesta smiles. Yes, you are correct, Rosella. If you are willing to come to Tamir, I will explain the situation. However, once I bring you here, I can't send you back. You will have to help me first. Definitely a scam, do not do it. Confused, Rosella says, I don't know. What if I can't help you or find the tree? She's breaking up. Genesta pleads, You must decide now, Rosella. My powers are growing weaker by the minute. Now, the fairy is but a faint glimmer, and her voice barely audible. If you care for your father, say yes, now. And suddenly she's gone. Yes! Had to re-record that last part of Genesta there because that was too fast. There's more of them. Genesta and two other fairies. The lovely fairy speaks. I am the fairy Genesta. Welcome to Tamir. And who are these other two? Rosella looks awestruck at the fairy. She is stunningly beautiful, but still, there is a certain sadness to her. Finally, Rosella speaks. I know you would like me to help you in some way, but I don't know how I could help a fairy. Genesta looks sadder than ever. You're wrong, Rosella. You see, I'm losing my magical powers. Yesterday, as I was strolling through the woods, Lalotte, the evil fairy, caught me unawares and stole my magic talisman. The fairy sighs. She yanked it from my neck and raced away screeching with laughter. Immediately, I felt my powers diminishing and my body weakening. I will die in 24 hours if my talisman is not returned. Intensely, Genesta looks at Rosella. Lalotte is very evil and will use the talisman to bring more evil to Tamir. Now I fear it will contaminate my whole country. Further, I cannot send you home without my talisman. There we go. We need to get her talisman back. Rosella is unsure as to what she can do. Meekly she asks, I want to help you, but how? You can do more than you think, Rosella, Genesta assures her. I believe you will be able to penetrate Lalotte's domain. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing these names correctly or not. Suddenly, Rosella remembers the tiny tree. Can you tell me where to find the magic fruit? Remorsefully, Genesta looks at Rosella. It will not be easy to reach the tree. It grows on a tiny island within a vast swamp on the other side of the Great Mountains. Bravely fighting back tears, Rosella says, I will help you in any way I can, Genesta. How can I find Lalotte? The beautiful fairy points eastward. Lalotte's castle overlooks Tamir from the Great Mountains and the fruit trees beyond. Genesta looks weaker as she says, There is not much more I can do, Rosella. As it is, it will be difficult for me to fly home again. One thing I must do for you though. I shall disguise you as a peasant girl so as not to attract attention. Oh, I kind of like that dress. Thank you, Genesta. I think, Rosella stammers. Yeah, we looked much better previously. It will be better for you, the fairy says. Well, I must be off while I can still fly. I know you can do it. Goodbye. Good luck. Who are the other two fairies? Well, you're on your own, Rosella. Indeed we are. It's just Rosella, me, and whoever's watching on YouTube. Lovely music. And there we go, that is the intro. I need to quickly edit some stuff in post because I wasn't able to read all of that. Most of the text boxes were slow enough that I was able to record it in one read, but I've definitely had to go back and do about 5 of those again, either because I flubbed the read or because there was just no time to get it done. Before we can proceed, we need to take a look through the menus. About King's Quest IV, a Ken Williams production. King's Quest IV, The Perils of Rosella. Designed and directed by Roberta Williams, music by William Goldstein. I'm not going to read all of that. I love you all, seriously. Quality assurance by a cast of thousands. Are you referring to people playing the game there? Because I'm not sure that Sierra had thousands of staff in the 80s, if ever. August 7, 1989. During the game, we can press escape. Yep, we've seen that. If we type something in, it is going to pause the game, like so. I'll read that shortly. It's using the SCI engine and this new parser, which means it is roughly in line with Police Quest 2 and Space Quest 3 as far as timelines are concerned. What else do we have up here? Anything interesting? We're carrying nothing. And again, the speed is granular here. I take it it's between 0 and 15. Alright, so with that done, let's take a very quick look at the manual. And this one is kind of weird because the manual that comes with the GOG version is basically a combined manual of King's Quest 4, 5, and 6 altogether. So if I scroll ahead here, I don't know why it's flickering like that. We're actually getting spoilers for 5 and 6 here. I did take a look at a standalone download for 4, and I don't know if I'm committing a crime or not by doing that, but honestly, there is not that much here. It's basically just a synopsis of King's Quest 1, 2, and 3, where we recovered the 3 treasures, we found a bride, and then we also dealt with Manannan's BS over in Ludor. But after that, it's very brief. According to legend, shortly after Rosella's rescue, King Graham decided it was time to pass on his adventurer's cap. Gathering in his wife and 2 children, the king offered a graceful smile upwards, for each member of his family had given him grace pride. Gazing down at his children, he couldn't help but see the glint of spirited valour in their eyes. Knowing the future of his kingdom would rest soundly in the hands of its future heir, he slowly lifted his hands to display the infamous adventurer's cap. And now, the commencement of the noblest adventure of all. And that's literally it. There is no more plot after this. It just talks about the verbs. I'll take a look at those when I get very confused, and the need to make a map and to look around and stuff. We don't actually get much from the GOG version of the manual at all. It's basically the same thing. I'll need to blur out that little copy protection thing there, but it's the same little blurb of text on the left there. There's really nothing here. I do find the first page very humorous though. And this is a message from Roberta Williams. Before King's Quest IV was released, word leaked out that Graham would have a heart attack and might die. Fans were upset enough to write in, not emailing in, writing in, because we didn't have email back then, asking to save Graham. I wanted King's Quest IV to have some pressure applied to you, a timed game taking place over a 24-hour period, so you roam around during the day and eventually it turns to night. I don't remember other games using the same scenes at night. It looked creepy. Yeah, this game has a day-night cycle. The story always comes first, blah, 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 blah. And then she says, I know the female lead is just fine for women and girls who play the game, but wasn't sure how it would go over with some of the men. And you know what? It wasn't as controversial as I expected. Hell yeah. However, it was real strange at first designing the game. Quite a different point of view. Having the woman die bothered me more than I expected. Look, I need you, if you're watching this, I need you to do me a massive favour. Pretty please. Pretty please. Do not tell Reddit. Because look, I'm tired, I'm depressed, I'm jaded. I'm not in the fucking mood to have a conversation about this. I just find it humorous. Real talk though, I'm pretty certain this was the very first game I ever played which featured a female protagonist. It was either this, or it was Jill of the Jungle from Epic Mega Games. And if you're wondering, yes, that's Epic Mega Games. That's the same company. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's take a look at this game. Okay, the intro has been edited and we are ready to go. I'm not entirely happy with how it turned out with respect to the speed of some of the text boxes. I've not used any freeze frames because I really did not want to disrupt the music. Hopefully it's okay though. The one other thing that I want to bring up very briefly before we get going was at the end of the previous video, the King's Quest III VGA remake from AGD Interactive, we read a letter that was in Manannan's desk, and it was written by someone calling themselves L, and it talks about destroying their enemy. I assume this is the lot talking about destroying Genesta. At this point, I think that letter is basically just a cute tie-in to King's Quest IV, which we're about to play right now. Whoever this is, whether it's her or not, she described Manannan as, quote, brother Manannan, unquote. I'm assuming that Lalos and Manannan are not siblings and that's just fluff, but we'll see. Maybe this is something that will not be investigated in this game. Maybe it will come later in the series. Okay, I'm ready to go. Just so you know, I did have a very brief look around this map, and I don't remember where anything is. I'll be mapping it as I go, and I'll be taking photographs, I promise. But it looks like this map is 5x6. 5 screens tall, and 6 screens wide. Anyway, we're here. We're on Tamir. And look at these graphics. It is such a huge step up from what we saw in the first 3 games. Not counting the VGA versions. I mean, you can see her pigtails going back and forth like that. It's honestly quite impressive. Alright, so let's take a look around. A river, coming from the east, spills into the blue ocean before you. A lonely beach edges the ocean. From top to bluff, a lovely meadow stretches eastward. Okay, what can we look at here? Maybe the river? The cold water of the river contrasts sharply with the warmer ocean water as the two converge. What of these rocks? There are not many rocks here. I suppose I can take the rocks? You can't get that. Great. The bright blue sky seems to merge as one with the vast ocean before you. You see many seagulls gliding through the air in their never-ending quest for food. The wide blue ocean disappears into the horizon to the west. Eastward, you see a pretty green meadow. What else? Beach, flowers. The blue water of the ocean washes serenely over the pretty sand beach. Can I take some of the sand? You can't get that. Flowers maybe? Beautiful wildflowers adorn the green meadowland to the east. It would waste your precious time to stop and pick flowers. Yeah, Daddy's dying and we need to get this done within 24 hours or the fairy's going to die and then we're stuck here and we can never get back. Let's check out the coast. A narrow strip of beach borders a vast ocean which stretches off to the west. A pretty green meadow, dotted with bunches of wildflowers, goes to the east. I don't think we're going to get anything massively different here. Billowy clouds float serenely in the blue sky. I don't know what this is over here. That looks a bit suspicious. Also, I do recall that Rosella can swim, unlike Gwydion. What have we here? A poor fisherman's shanty adorns this part of the coastline. A pier stretches from the house out into the ocean to the west. You see a pretty meadowland off to the east. Lookout's house. The fisherman's shack looks badly in need of repair, as the sun, wind, and salt spray have taken their toll. From the house, an old pier leads out into the ocean. I suppose I can look in windows. Not close enough? Yep, not close enough. We need to get a bit closer for that. You peek through the window, but can make out no details. Is that the same message that we saw in King's Quest 2 with the antique shop? What about this anchor though? An old rusted anchor leans against the wall of the house. This thing here, can I take it? It's too heavy for you to move. Alright. What else we got? This is a plain wooden door. Can I knock? You knock loudly on the shanty door. A woman's voice answers. Just come on in. I don't have female voices, chat. I just don't. The inside of the fisherman's shack looks almost as shabby as the outside. You see a tired-looking woman knitting at the table. There's potentially a lot of stuff here. What is she knitting? A poor and tattered woman knits at the table. She looks very tired and a little grumpy. I suppose we can talk to her. You introduce yourself to the old fisherman's wife. How are we introducing ourselves? Are we saying that we're a princess from Daventry? We look like a peasant girl now. With little patience, she responds, What are you doing here, young lady? Can't you see I'm busy? We have enough problems without worrying about you. You invited me in. And you said, just come on in. Whatever. Look at knitting, maybe? Not interested in the knitting. Is that generic? No. Okay. It looks like an old, worn table. We have a chair. Can I sit down in the chair? Yep, those are chairs, all right. You don't have time for that? Really? So I love the way that this is now a larger sprite of Rosella. Not just physically larger, she's actually been redrawn. What else do we have in here? There is nothing of importance on the walls. So that singing fish on the right there is not important. Got it. The wood? You see nothing special. What about this oven or fire or whatever it is? Stove, maybe? At least the stove keeps it warm in here. You can't use that here right now? Yeah, no. What are these shelves? What's on these shelves? You see a cupboard filled with canned goods. Alright, I assume it's not important. It looks like there's a drawer underneath there. You see that little round knob there? I reckon that's something. You can't do that now? Yeah, we can't commit casual theft in here. What is this on the wall? There is something there, for sure. And there's also possibly something directly in front of me here. Like a pouch or a purse. You guys have it? Okay, we're going to get a pouch. Spoil that. What about that? You see nothing special? It looks like there's something on that barrel that we can steal. I mean, take. What about the bed? The lumpy bed looks old and uninviting. Okay, we've got a shack here, but I don't know what purpose it serves just yet. I can't see anything in here. Let's get out of here. Just speed it up a bit. Yeah, it's a much smaller model of Rosella now. It's kind of a cool effect. The old, worn pier juts out into the ocean from the weather-beaten house. It's just an ordinary seagull. I hate the way the music is pausing there. Especially as it's very nice music. There is nothing of interest in the wooden barrel. The pier is old and weather-beaten. You are standing at the end of the old weathered pier. From here, to the west, you can see nothing but ocean. I can see a dude here. You see a grizzled old fisherman on the pier. Apparently, he isn't having any luck today. Oh, he's leaving. You say a few words to the old fisherman. However, he must have other things on his mind, as he seems to ignore you. That's not terribly nice. Also, I'm completely blocking his path. I assume that I can fall off here, fall into the ocean. I should be fine. Rosella can actually swim. Like that. Is he going inside? He is. That sound effect though. I can't climb up there. That was odd. Now, does that mean he's back out here, or is he inside perhaps? Look at that red chimney up there. Alright, let's go inside. Okay, the woman is no longer knitting. The fishing rod is on the wall on the right-hand side. I'll look at the walls again, nothing of importance. Look at woman. The grizzled old fisherman and his tacit wife sit at their table, talking. The grizzled old fisherman and his tacit wife sit at their table, talking, and drinking hot coffee. Alright, so can we talk to either of them? You try to talk pleasantly to the tired-looking woman, but your words seem to fall on deaf ears. She is obviously annoyed by your presence. Hush. Talk to man. You talk to the grizzled fisherman as he sits at the table. Sighing, he tells you, "Them fish ain't been biting lately. If things don't get better soon, I don't know what to do." I apologise for that accent. So if we find a fish... never mind, I just tried the same thing again and now we're getting this. In reply, the old fisherman comments, "Me and the wife ain't getting any younger, and times is tough. If you got any ideas, girlie, let me know." The fisherman chooses to ignore your attempted conversation. Instead, he looks dismally into his coffee cup and sighs heavily. Did we get anything else if we tried talking to the woman? No. The rod. Really? What about pole? Yep, it's there, alright. Can I take the pole? You can't take their fishing pole, as that's their only means of survival. Alright, well, my thought here is maybe I need to bring them a fish or solve their fishing problem, so that they can actually catch some fish, so that they can survive until tomorrow. For now, though, I don't know what to do. Are you the same loot player? I have to know. We didn't see you in the EGA version, but I do question whether it was AGD's intent for this to be the same person. I don't want to interrupt this. A sparkling white sand beach edges a vast blue ocean. Turning to the east, you see a lush, flowery meadow. I see a person playing a lute here. Let's take a look. You see a rather jaunty-looking fellow who appears to be a wandering minstrel. He seems to be a lute player. You say hello to the minstrel, who looks at you in surprise. Well, what do we have here?" he asks. You introduce yourself as Rosella. "Hello, Rosella," the minstrel says. "Let me play for you one of my favourite tunes." And he begins to play an old ballad. Unfortunately, it appears that his musical skills, just like mine in the real world, are quite limited, as he plunks and pings his way through an otherwise beautiful song. You were doing good up until that note, sir. Alright, let's talk to him again. You unthinkingly speak to the minstrel again, who immediately begins playing another bad rendition of a favourite, oldie but goodie. Practice makes perfect. The minstrel seems quite pleased that you appreciate his music so much. He obviously loves the attention as he goes into an out-of-tune version of Green Sleeves. If you're not aware of what that is, it's the music that played during the King's Quest 1 and 2 intro. I don't know if it's English or Celtic or whatever, but it's basically a very classical tune. I've heard worse. You can't get enough, can you, Rosella? This guy obviously loves an audience as he takes you through another popular ballad. I feel I should know this. But I don't. I think we're looping now, unfortunately. I've got vague memories of getting this guy's loot somehow, but I'm not sure how. Okay, we've seen that. Yeah, okay. Can I ask for the loot? The minstrel is not going to give you his sole means of livelihood. You are not a violent girl, Rosella. No, but I am. Wait, that came out wrong. Shit. What can we do with you? You listen intensely. I've got memories of him walking away and leaving his loot behind. You see very few trees. I see the one behind him and one off to the right, and that's it. If I go south and then go up, is he gone? No, he's there and he's having a good time. I do recall there being RNG aspects to this with respect to certain people and certain animals being on certain screens, but that clearly is not one of them. Wistfully, you stare out over the ocean, wishing you could go home and see your family again. Unfortunately, reality sets in, and you remember your difficult situation. Turning your head, you look eastward towards a meadowland covered with wildflowers, and heave a big sigh of sadness. Yeah, something about Daddy dying and we're stuck here until we find a talisman. I don't think we're getting anything else here. Yes, be careful around the cliffs. How deadly are these cliffs? That looks fairly deadly. Oh, what is with the audio? That was very quiet. You really should be more careful, Rosella. Thank you for playing King's Quest IV, The Perils of Rosella. Next time, be more careful. Alright, we're done. Thank you for watching, everyone. And no, we're not done yet. We're not done until we return to Daventry with a magic fruit. Alright, so that brings us back to the start screen, which means it looks like this map is 5 screens tall. Unless, you know, it's not square. The river here. Can I drink from the river? Ah, it tastes good. Can I drink from the ocean? You taste the ocean water. Yuck! This water's too salty. And if you keep drinking it, it will kill you. Very pretty. A cold river carves its way through this lush, flowery meadow. Green grass carpets this lovely meadowland. You see very few trees, same thing. What about the rocks in the stream? Scattered the rocks lie among the wildflowers of the meadow. Once again, we can't take the flowers because we don't have time for those. I can swim in the stream, but I do not see the point in doing so just yet. Let's keep going south. Another creature. I can barely hear the audio here. I don't know what's wrong with ScumVM at the moment. I'm clearly going to have to do a lot of editing in post to try and get this working. You are surrounded by beautiful flowers in this luscious green meadowland. What is this thing? You see a lively creature who is, at the same time, both man and ghost. He is a satyr, and his name is Pan. He seems to be greatly enjoying his flute music. You attempt to speak to Pan, but he pays you no mind. He's too wrapped up in his flute music. Okay, can I do anything with you? Oh, he's gone. Is he RNG? I've got a feeling that he moves around the map from memory. Who would listen? He's not coming back now, so I possibly need to move between a few more screens to find him again. This area is so open though, and there's nothing here. Apart from that flute player a moment ago. Okay, what else we got? Oh, there he is again. You can't, Pan won't give it to you. I assume we need to give him something to take his mind off his flute playing, perhaps. Can I sing to him? You hum along with Pan, but he doesn't pay any attention. Dang. Scream. That is not clear. Shout. That is not clear. Alright. You see very few trees. Can I climb this tree? It looks climbable. It is difficult to climb trees while wearing that dress. Challenge accepted. Just updating my map. There's nothing we can do with this back of the shack. Looking in this window, perhaps. Same thing. Oh. Well, that's depressing. The scent of wildflowers fills the air in the lovely green meadow. This stump. Yes, there's a tree stump in the middle of the meadow. Who cut that down? You don't have time to sit on the stump. Look at stump. There's got to be something to that, surely. Okay, left, we should run into the minstrel, which is very loud compared to everything else. This rock. Surrounded by flowers. Are we going to find a dagger underneath it, maybe? Try another way to say that. Whatever. I assume it's nothing, but it looks a bit weird. A green meadowland filled with beautiful wildflowers surrounds you. Once again, very few trees. Don't suppose I can climb this tree? Fine. Undress. Not in front of the game players. I'm okay with it, but YouTube might not be okay with it, so it's probably for the best. If I go left here, that should take me to the cliffs. And that takes me back to the stream. Alright, it's all very consistent so far. Ooh. You are wandering through a thick wood. You hear birds chirping from the many trees. What is that? It looks like it's got a horn. You see a beautiful wild unicorn in the meadow. Its coat is dapple grey, and its wonderful horn shines like gold. The unicorn shies at your approach and trots away. We didn't even have to approach it, we just looked at the bloody thing and it ran off. Anything else on this screen of interest? The trees are numerous in these woods. Okay, we found the trees. Small rocks lie among the trees. Can I have one? No. Once again, I don't think we're getting anything unique here. You see nothing of importance on the ground. Let's go south. Okay, we saw something fly to the left there. It looks like a bird of some sort. And I think we saw Cupid moving to the right-hand side. Its typical cherub with a bow and arrow. The beautiful pool, with its elegant marble columns, has a wonderful setting in these woods. The water looks so cool and inviting. You're almost tempted to jump in. Is this a trap? I do not recall. Right, I think I need to be quick here. Let's look at the bird. The raven doesn't look to be a friendly bird at all. I wonder if that belongs to the lot. Don't know. Is that Cupid? It totally is. Baby Cupid beats his little wings furiously as he flies through the air. In his chubby hands, he carries a golden bow and 2 golden arrows. Keep those the fuck away from me, please. Not even once. Can I talk to Cupid? You speak to Cupid, but he doesn't seem to hear you. Okay. Cupid happily splashes and frolics in the clear water of the pool. Can we conduct some casual theft here? Oh! You've startled Cupid. You don't have it? Yeah, we need to get that bow. Are you naked, dude? Also, you left your bow and arrow behind. Do you have a spare? Hopefully. Okay, so it's only about half an hour into this part of the recording. There was more before that, and I finally got my first 2 points. Okay, so tab just gives me that. It doesn't give me the option to look at it like it did in the old games by pushing F4. So I think what I need to do is actually look at the bow. And we don't even get a description, we just get a picture of it now. A golden bow with 2 arrows. Cool. You shoot an arrow into the air. Oops. You missed. Ooh. Same thing. You have no arrows. You already have that? No, we don't have any more arrows. Okay, so we've committed at least 1 act of theft so far. Things are looking good. The beautiful pool is lined with tall marble columns. Its crystal clear water looks very inviting. Also, I'm very happy. Every instance of it has used the apostrophe correctly. Dive into pool. Just enter the water. Fine. What is with the audio? The beautiful pool is lined with tall marble columns. Okay, I fiddled around with the emulator for about 5 minutes. I cannot figure out why the audio is so low. I'm going to have to crank it up in post. Hopefully it doesn't cause any issues, but yeah, this one may not turn out very good. Hopefully I can work with it. The marble columns flank the lovely pool. Oh, once again, I don't think we're getting much here. Like, I can barely hear Pan there. I wonder if we can shoot him with the arrow. Or the minstrel. I wonder what that would accomplish. You can move around as well, okay. You can't do that now. Shoot arrow as minstrel. Shoot arrow. Do I not have the... I mean, that was working a moment ago. Huh. Is it only... Okay, it works here. But it doesn't work here? Or on the left-hand side? That's very curious. Okay, we can shoot the unicorn. You aim one of Cupid's golden bows towards the beautiful unicorn. You let go of the bowstring. Zing! Bullseye. The magnificent unicorn is no longer afraid of you. It's now your friend. If only things were that simple. I'm going to take a break here because I need to really figure out just what the hell is going on with the audio in this game. And it's going to disrupt whatever goes to YouTube, so I will BRB. Okay, I'm really not sure what's going on, but I restarted ScumVM. And it appears to be behaving now. This could be a very stunted playthrough. Hopefully I can recover it. Alright, let's keep exploring, and if we find the unicorn, we know that we can shoot it with an arrow. He's here as well. He's hiding behind the tree on the right. You have entered a shady, wooded area, with birds calling from the many trees. You notice a pool in the distance to the north. Yep, that's where we just came from. Ah, this rock though. A large rock dominates the clearing. Can I climb it? It's too difficult to climb while wearing that dress. Take the dress off! It's impractical, really. Push rock. Look at bird. You see small birds here and there. Yeah, these two are just eyeing me off. Can I shoot Pan with an arrow, perhaps? I say that and then he leaves. Alright. Back of the shack. He's not here. Shoot arrow as Pan. And we miss. I assume that this means we can't shoot him with the arrow. And that it's not an RNG troll. I mean, it could be, so... Oh, now he's gone. Now he's gone because of course he's gone. And now my audio's gone again. Alright, I need to investigate further very clearly. This is not working. Maybe Scum VM in this game is broken. Or maybe it's because I'm using a emulated MC32. Don't tell anyone. Let me BRB again.